I think I probably have three more questions and then I'm done. So one is in relation to the recommendations in the Future of Local Government review that found formal council amalgamation proposals should be developed for particular councils. That was recommendation 4, and also recommendation 9 around the Minister for Local Government having the provision in the Local Government Act to require councils to participate in identified shared service or shared staffing arrangement agreements. So has there been any progress towards either voluntary amalgamations and or shared service agreements?
I'll read this so I get it right, please, and then I'll talk a little bit more to it. The government continues to support the structural reform in local government where councils demonstrate genuine intent and capacity to engage in serious outcomes-focused process. This approach aligns with the direction set by the Future of Local Government review and reflects a refined and practical application of its structural reform recommendations. The review made it clear that Tasmanians' current structure cannot meet the challenge of the future without reform. And following the release of the review's final report, we were encouraged to see a number of councils proactively approach the government to explore amalgamation. While not all these proposals are progressing, early interest highlighted the sector's willingness to engage will inform and reinforce the need for a consistent strategic approach. Now, with that, we had approximately 9 councils that had discussions. Some are still, the easiest way to describe it would be chatting about it. Certainly some on the East Coast, the GMs had very productive meetings. I've always had my own thoughts on this, that 29 councils is too many, but I prefer to talk about communities of like, and that's based around some of the very sensible things that are happening by itself in local government, which I was involved with, and I'll talk mainly about regional because most metros have a rate base that they can solve okay, but in regional areas, CERTA was very effective, South Central, which formed off that for the Brighton, Central Highlands, Southern Midlands and Derwent Valley Hub, and we've seen another group, of course the success of Cradle Coast, but there is another group up there now which is focused on a community of like, which is the Mersey-Leven Alliance. Certainly I wish to do more work in that area, and I don't like to use the amalgamation or merger work. It's more about communities of like, of where you have a interest on what needs to happen for funding and development of communities in regions where you can have an agreement of federal, state and local government input into set projects that are planned in advance for developing those regions instead of duplication or each council in regional areas fighting over the same pool of money and all getting dribs and drabs but not really doing anything for the betterment of the community. We've proven in a lot of the regional areas that when a united approach towards sport or some community facilities is united, you get a much better result and you build a much better facility that benefits a lot of other people. Yesterday I used the example, and the other example that was added to it was the Dial Sports range, how effective that is now as a multi-sports complex. I used the example close to my heart of Pembroke Park, where it used to have 200 to 300 people a week using it for football and cricket, and with continued investment, federal and state and council money over about a 10-year period, my best estimates at the moment is that that facility is generating somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 people a week using that for a multitude of sports. We saw improved netball conditions where the club went from, I think it was 4 or 5 teams. They had to stop growing at about 28, and I think they still might be squeezing a few in, of all levels of sport, and even with a state league side now. But what that did was bring people from Newbina up, Swansea, 7 Mile Beach, even a lot of people from the Eastern Shore and Hobart are coming out because it's a pleasant drive out.
There's not enough facilities in Clark.
But it shows what you can do when you build fair facilities. They're not over the top, they're only basic, and have that sort of combined regional effort to focus on a good facility. So I would like to in my portfolios, and the Premier has given me some latitude to put forward some of my thoughts in 26 regarding how we can develop a concept around communities of like and support those groups, which is changing and maturing the conversation towards what I would like to think will be boundary changes in the future to give areas a decent rate base that they can actually be sustainable for their ratepayers. And that's where my heart and mind and passion is. Whether that leads to amalgamation of mergers is beside the point, but I have my own clear direction on that and would like to continue that.
Well, that's good to hear. Excellent, thank you. I said I had 3 questions. My other one was about the, well, exactly that, the financial sustainability of local government, and you've just touched on that a bit.
Could I just add to that a little bit, please? Most people don't realise in the public, they see things thrown out by everybody about mergers and amalgamations. But what most people don't realise is even 2 councils with the same population in regional areas have a different rate base. So what we really have to do is understand the asset management of each council and then look at their rate base to see, is that a rate base that is able to have enough commercial and industrial land to be able to sustain the assets of that community. Then you can have a professional discussion about the rates, which lead then to a whole sustainability discussion. Once you've discovered that, that's when you can really go out and talk to your community about what you need to do or what you can't do or what you need to look at in the future to change the mentality. And that's the level of discussion we haven't had a maturity on for the last decade, to be able to educate the ratepayers that a whole different view and concept and think about the future sustainability and what is wastage and what is sensible to be spending on needs to happen. So
Well, look, I totally agree, and I would like to see that happening at the state government level too, in terms of assets and development of new and revenue bases to sustain that. But that's a whole other topic that's very topical.
That comes into whole of life cost too when you talk about a project that you do have to examine. Oh, we can build it for that and do that, but whether it's a road or a basketball stadium, you still need to look at what it's going to cost on an ongoing basis. And most people don't understand about a 5 to 10% depreciation. So
I know, this is what I've been asking. These are exactly the questions I need to know. Anyway, that's talking about local government. But yes, absolutely, the same principles apply at all levels of government, don't they?